Hey, happy Friday. I am in desperate need of a haircut, but I wanted to wrap the week up and talk about all things Essure and hormone balance and see if it's not too late for some of y'all and you're sitting on your phone like I am in desperate need of a social life. This week I took out a few Essures, and there's been a couple of things that have been coming up on some of the other boards. I'm still on a couple of the websites, like I'm on the Georgia Essure page and a couple of the others. And I just wanted to bring up a couple of things that I've been seeing. Hey Dora, how are you? About Essure removal. We're not talking reversal, so just so you know, reversal is where the coils come out and they put the tubes back together, or reattach the tubes to the uterus so you can get pregnant. I do removal, which you can do before you get IVF, but removal means you still can't get pregnant, you just want the coils out and you don't want a hysterectomy. So if you're having Essure removal and you're not having hysterectomy, well, first of all, if you're having a hysterectomy, make sure that it's a laparoscopic assisted hysterectomy, that it's not a straight vaginal approach so that they can actually keep the tubes attached to the uterus. You do not want the tubes to be cut or cut on. Second, if you're having just the coils removed, there's a few things that you really need to make sure that your doctor is doing before you have the surgery. One is, make them draw you a picture how they are removing the coil and the tube from the uterus. Make them draw you the photo, because if they are cutting the tube open and pulling the coil out, if they are cutting the tube off at the level of the uterus, then that's not somebody that really has experience in how to remove these things. Second, from making them draw you a picture would be to make sure they get an X-ray, not only before the case, but during the case. I can't tell you how many women have Essures removed that don't have any X-rays. So how do they know where they are? How do they know how many they are? And how do they know they're getting them out? Hey Kim, good to see you. So they have to do an X-ray before, and you have to have an X-ray during the case while you're still asleep to make sure that the pieces are all gone. So many women out there have had Essures removed. That's not hysterectomy, but salpingectomies, where they remove the tubes, that have had those done, that haven't had their coils, their X-rays done post-op to even know. How do you know if you have a fragment left? So if you want your Essure removed, if you want a second opinion, if you've had them removed and you haven't had an X-ray, consult with me. I can order one if your doctor won't. I just think peace of mind, you need to know. So that brings me to another point. You're going to draw the picture, you're going to get the X-ray before and after. And then there's a lot of women that call me because they don't know if they had the procedure done right. If you want a consult and you have a copy of your op note, you have a copy of your pathology report, and you have and you don't have an X-ray and you want an X-ray, your doctor shouldn't deny you an X-ray. I think that's ridiculous. So if they don't want to order it, I can do it. So what do I also see with women that have Essure problems? Well, the main thing is hormone imbalance. And women that have hormone imbalance in general, pain points with hormone imbalance. What are the pain points with Essure? Pain, bleeding, seeing some autoimmune issues, rashes, all of the things that are in the black box warning for the product. But hormone imbalances, what do I see the most? Insomnia, irritability, weight gain, mood swings, cold all the time, just tired constantly, no sex drive. Shall I go on, or does that sound like your Saturday night? Because that's not normal. And so what do we talk about with women that have hormone imbalances? Well, first of all, 95% of y'all already know something's wrong. So you've been to the doctor and they've told you, oh, your hormones are fine, I just checked them. But you don't feel fine. That tells me they're not fine. Kim, headaches for sure, migraines for sure can be hormonally mediated. And you don't have to live that way. You're not getting older. Wimberly, migraines, Wimberly, call me. We can get you set up. We can do some labs. I've described probably most of the female population, Renee. It's rampant, and it's so, most of the time, pretty easy to fix. We draw some blood, and we find out what's not balanced, and we fix it. But most of the problem here is If you go to most providers, they just look at normal ranges and they don't look at balance. They don't look at proportions. They just look at how things are in the range. And the problem with that is the range, it doesn't mean anything necessarily for you personally. Now, obviously, we don't want, hey, Jeff Kent is here, my big bald brother. Grew up across the street from him, and I love his family to death. So, hey, Jeff, it's been a while. Back to hormone imbalance. So all those pain points, weight gain, mood swings, irritability, insomnia. We put up a post the other day, choke a bitch syndrome. I hate to say that, but that's how you feel. You feel like you want to choke someone out. And usually the husband is over there going, Well, husbands don't make it any better. But if you have those pain points and you've had labs done and you've been told that they're normal, but you still feel that way, they're not normal. Something isn't right because you're not supposed to feel that way. It's okay to feel that way every once in a while because you're a human being and things happen. But to feel that way all the time, where the overriding issue is that you just feel horrible all the time and you just put yourself on autopilot because you got to get stuff done. We want to check estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA, vitamin D, cortisol, and a full thyroid panel, not just TSH, because TSH before, it's a brain hormone. I asked you before, but I was misplaced where I wrote it down in the X-ray after you get the Essure. Yes, you need to get an X-ray before the surgery and during the case or after. So what do you do for hormone issues? You get blood drawn, which usually is covered by your insurance. You have somebody look at it, like moi. I wouldn't mind. I take insurance. If you're local, if you're going to come to the office physically, I take insurance. If not, you can go to www.tassonemd.com/one-on-one consultations. And the one's just the number one. Maddie can type that up there right now. Also, if you want an Essure consult, you can always call the office at 512-956-0296. Renee, I can do it. I can do it from anywhere. You don't even have to live in Texas. We can help you. Or you can find somebody that's been recommended by friends. I would also, this is my personal soapbox. You can go to my blog on tassonemd.com and look at my blog on hormone pellets. I hate pellets. Maddie can tag the blog as well. I hate pellets I got 10 reasons why I hate pellets. I just think they're awful. I think they're too expensive. And if you want hormone balance, don't use pellets. They are probably the least way. And I think you go out of the frying pan and into the fire. You're going to feel bad just on the other side. So read that blog post. Anybody has questions out there about Essure or hormone imbalances? The way I do things, especially if it's a hormone consult, you come in, we get your blood drawn, we go over your labs and come up with a plan. The plan can be hormone balance. It can be supplements, nutrition. We can talk about all kinds of things. We come up with that plan, and then with that plan, I'll prescribe something if you need anything, and then we meet up again in about 4 to 6 weeks and check in. How are you feeling? If you're feeling great, then great. We don't have to do anything else. If you're feeling better, and I had a lady like that today, she felt better, but not exactly where she wanted to be, then we order blood again and we fine tune the dose. And we fine tune the dose until you get it done, until you feel the way that you want to feel. We can't just stop and say, oh, it didn't work. Well, it didn't work because it wasn't the right dose for you. And sometimes we'll prescribe creams and the creams don't penetrate. They don't get into your bloodstream. So we can switch to a rapid dissolve tablet that goes under the tongue. So there's different things that we can do, or I say we, like I'm this multi-level personality here. And also for you ladies out there who have husbands that are miserable, in October, possibly November, I'm adding a lovely, lovely person named Erica Dempsey, who is going to join me. She's a nurse practitioner, family nurse practitioner, and she's going to be offering testosterone replacement for men that are significant others or spouses only. So anybody that has a gentleman that can get to the office, we're going to start helping them as well. So, because, we don't want to just totally forget about the guys. How long after removal should I recheck my hormones? 6 weeks post-op. Thank you, Dora. It depends on you and how you're feeling. A lot of women after the Essure removal feel like $1 million. And if you feel great, then we don't have to do hormone checking. If you want to check, I would wait about that 6 week check. I can then go ahead and order some blood, and you just got to call the office, 512-956-0296, and we'll get you your labs ordered, and then the following week I'll see you and we'll go over your hormones. There's like 23 people watching. That's huge on Facebook. It must be that everybody's getting ready because it's 6:35 here, so nobody's going out yet. And as you can see, I am not going out. So it's stay at home with food that has already been prepared, so I don't have to make it. Essure removals, make sure you get an X-ray before and after, especially if you're having self-injectomies, and make them draw you a picture. Hormone replacement, if you feel like what I would call a big bag of hurt, insomnia, mood swings, irritability, weight gain, cold all the time, hair loss, I hear that all day long, irregular periods, just don't feel like yourself, bloated, I can help you. We just need to get some labs and get started. Wish my insurance would pay to get mine removed. If you're having a salpingectomy, if you're having a hysterectomy, I have done over 700 cases, Pepper, and I have not had them denied. They do pay for it. It's just a matter of how you code it. If you see somebody that's done a few so they know how to do this, I've never had one denied. Unless you have Texas Women's Health Plan, which is basically just a health plan that only allows you to get birth control. It doesn't allow anything else. So how do people in Canada get Essure removed? Well, I've actually had people from Canada come down here and have it removed. It's just one visit. You show up the day before the surgery and we remove it, and then I send you back home. And actually, Texas isn't a bad place to visit. Well, maybe not in August, but in a couple of months, the temperature is actually really nice. Let me clarify again. I'm sorry if the X-ray that you have after Essure removal. What about the X-ray after removal? I usually do the X-ray. I do an X-ray only if you've had the salpingectomy because I can see the coils in the uterus. Everybody needs an X-ray before the case. If you're having just the tubes removed, I do the X-ray during the case while you're still asleep. It's called a KUB, kidneys, urine, and urinary bladder. So it's basically from about your ribs down to your pelvis. And it's a real quick test. It's covered by your insurance. It's under $100, I think, if you have to pay cash. Not super expensive. I can tell you I've had so many women call me and say that they had the surgery and that their doctor refused to order the X-ray. Refused, which is completely and utterly ridiculous unless they're afraid they didn't remove them. So get an X-ray. It's quick. It's easy. And you can at least rest assured. I've had women that have come to me as a second opinion post-op, and I did the X-ray, and there's no fragments behind. So you could have peace of mind as well that there isn't anything in there. So hormones, tassonemd.com/one-on-one consultations. You can also look at the Essure consult page on that site, so you can make an appointment if you don't have insurance. I can remove those, but I do have a lot of women that filthy clips. I do those as well. So yes, we can remove filthy clips. Filthy clips actually don't actually require removing the tube because the filthy clip is on the tube, and most of the time, actually, when I go in there with filthy clips, they've actually just fallen off and they're sitting back behind the uterus. But I've had women that have had actually both filthy clips and Essure. So yeah, I can definitely remove those. So I'm gonna end it because it's Friday and y'all need to go out and do something. You don't want to be super bored. My CT scan showed my coil was perforated through my tube. Not a problem. I can still take it out. and all the more reason you should have it taken out if it's perforating through your tube. So get you an appointment by calling the office on Monday, or you can go on to drshawntassone.com if you want to make an appointment online. But if you want to call, and that's just for Essure removals. But yeah, if you want a hormone consult, you can always go online and make one through the website, or that tassonemd.com/one-on-one consultations. Or if you want to come physically into the office, you can call the office at 512-956-0296. Hormone testing, www.tassone, TASSONE.com/1 consultations. And there you go. Teresa, awesome. 2 years. See, I've been doing them for about 4.5, done about 700 cases. So I wish I could. It'd be nice to go to Canada and do some cases, but you have to have privileges at the hospital, you have to have a license in the state, and all those other things. So it would be a lot easier maybe for you to come down here. Like I said, it's one time. You don't have to come down more than once. I don't know of any physicians up there right now that are doing proper salpingectomies. There are doctors up there doing hysterectomy, so for a hysterectomy, you can go to any gynecologist and they can do that. But if you don't want a hysterectomy, then try to get to Austin. I hope you all are having a good day. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk soon.